I bought Blue Jay 10 years ago, and it was one of my first adult purchases after finishing school. My friends had cars, and I felt like I needed one too. I was tired of asking for rides and for relying on public transit for every errand. So I bit the bullet. I walked into a car dealership and bought Blue Jay. And then I crashed them within a week. I pulled out of a parking lot and ran straight into another car. After exchanging insurance information, I had no idea of the financial nightmare I was about to face. I filed an insurance claim and got a repair estimate, $500. The problem? I didn't have $500. I sat in my car thinking about the damage, my stomach dropping. How can I be so careless? How can I afford this? I thought buying a car was a responsible thing that adults did. But instead of making my life easier, it just created stress and financial strain. To fix my car, I had to squeeze every penny out of my next few paychecks. That's when I realized two huge problems. First, I had no budgeting system. My insurance premium shot up, my budget was wrecked, and I had no plan to cover unexpected expenses. Second, I had no emergency fund. I was part of the 13% of Americans who couldn't cover a $400 emergency. I didn't even have a credit card as a backup. That moment was my wake-up call. I knew something had to change. I won't lie. Building an emergency fund was tough at first. I tried doing what most people do, saving whatever was left after spending. But every month, I came up short. Then I found a system that worked. Budgeting with purpose. Early on in my personal finance journey, I discovered the 50-30-20 budget. It's not the system I use now, but it was the first real framework that helped me take control of my money. Here's how it works. First, 50% of your income is for needs, like rent, groceries, and bills. 30% of your income is for wants, like dining out, entertainment, and shopping, and 20% is for saving and investing. For my emergency fund, I took 5% of my income, about $200 a month, and put it into a high-yield savings account. I set up automatic deposits so I didn't have to think about it. And over time, I saved $2,400 over a year. And as I earned more income, I increased my contributions. Here are the key lessons for building an emergency fund. First, set a specific goal. The biggest mistake people make is trying to save as much as possible. That's overwhelming and unrealistic. Instead, I committed to saving 5% of my income each month. That was enough to help me effectively build an emergency fund, but not so much that it felt overwhelming. Second, use a separate savings account. If you keep all of your money in one account, it's hard to keep track of what's for bills, what's for groceries, and what's for emergencies. I opened a high-yield savings account in a different bank. These accounts pay way more interest than traditional banks. This created a mental barrier. My emergency fund wasn't just extra spending money. Third, automate your savings. I set up a direct deposit so that part of my paycheck went straight into my emergency fund. When you automate your savings, you don't have to rely on willpower. It happens automatically. Fourth, find motivation. After my accident, the embarrassment of not having $500 to fix my car drove me to build my emergency fund. Before that, I never thought I could save $10,000. After, I couldn't imagine being a functional adult without an emergency fund. Here's how to get started today. First, find your investing rate. Use my life cycle calculator at www.lifecyclepf.com to determine how much to invest based on your income and your age. Second, open a high-yield savings account and label the account emergency fund. Third, set up automatic transfers. You can use a direct deposit from your paycheck like I did, or set up a monthly transfer from your main bank account. Then use your investing rate to decide how much to save. Fourth, let the system work for you. Keep contributing it to it every month, and don't feel bad if you need to use it. That's what it's for. The key is to keep replenishing it. What counts as an emergency? Emergencies are unexpected and necessary expenses. A car repair? Yes. A medical bill? Yes. A last-minute trip to Vegas? Absolutely not. Some other examples of things that are not emergencies are poor planning, like forgetting that an annual bill is due, and things you simply want, like a new phone or a Blue Apron subscription. And take a moment and reflect, what's the difference between a need and a want in your life? Comment below with some examples. As you build your emergency fund, here are some milestones to aim for. First, save 1 month of required expenses. Use a life cycle calculator to estimate this. It should be about half your income. Second, save at least 3 months of required expenses. If you own a home or have dependents, aim for even more. Third, build discipline. Your emergency fund is not for vacations or impulse purchases. It's important to set clear boundaries between an emergency fund and the things you want. Building an emergency fund isn't impossible. You can create a financial safety net so that an ER visit, a broken roof, and yes, a car accident doesn't derail your finances. So don't be like me. Don't be sitting in a parking lot wondering how you're going to fix your bumper. Make a smart decision now. Just the first steps. Find your investing rate at www.lifecyclepf.com. and open your emergency fund account today. If you need personalized help, check out the Work With Me page. Let's craft a strategy together. And if you find this video helpful for you, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and share it with someone who needs this advice. Thanks for watching. And remember, your financial future starts today. Let's redefine personal finance together. Cheers.
And now a word from our sponsor.